The first week of dating isn't just about having a good time, it's an opportunity to spot potential deal breakers early on before you're in too deep. Which is why in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 red flags that you can identify early on to help you walk away from a woman that is not right for you. And with that said, we're going to get right into it. In each one of these 3 red flags that I'm about to get into, I'm going to break down what it looks like, why it matters, deeper insight, and an actionable tip in each one so that you can walk away and, more importantly, protect your integrity. As a man, dating should be effortless, and I believe that's only going to happen if you have high enough standards. So, with that said, let's get right into it. The first red flag that you can spot quite early is going to be inappropriate social media behavior. Now, let me first put this into context. The first week of dating doesn't necessarily have to mean you've had a date yet. Maybe you have. Perhaps you just matched with a girl on a dating app and you've exchanged contact info and you have a date lined up. Maybe you just met her in real life and you got the number and you've been talking. Regardless, those first few days, there's still a lot you can actually learn by what you observe, which can help you make a decision, right? Do I stay? Do I leave? And I wish more men would have this mindset, because it's easier to walk away at the beginning when you don't have feelings involved, as opposed to 3, 4, 5 weeks in, 2 months, and you're attached. So the first red flag here is inappropriate social media behavior. So let's say you check her social media, her Instagram, for example, and you see half-naked pics, bikini pics, too many inappropriate selfies, and thirsty guys commenting under her posts. That is something you can do. You don't even need to have a first date. You check her Instagram right away, or her social media, Facebook, and if you spot these things, it's going to tell you something more. So why does this matter? This isn't about being jealous or controlling. It's about alignment. If she's curating this online image that screams single and available while you're trying to build something real, it's not a mixed signal. It's a misaligned value. I don't care if you met this girl on a dating app. It doesn't matter if you approached her and got her number and she looked all into you. The fact that she's projecting this on social media, it says something else. So, regarding deeper insight, a woman who respects herself doesn't need validation from strange men. What you see on a social media is a preview of what you're signing up to long term. And it's something I say often. A good woman with morals is only going to want the presence of a man that she loves. So if she's single and she's not dating a guy, or she's not serious with a man, then likewise she's also going to protect her integrity, and she's not going to have inappropriate pictures on her social media where weird men can access that. Only women with very low self-esteem are going to be putting stuff like that out there online. It's not wife material. So the only actionable tip I have for you is check her social media accounts early. No judgment, just don't waste time. This is something that you can spot right away. And I've seen this with clients where they've been speaking to a girl 2-3 weeks, they really like her. They haven't checked the social media. And when they do, they see that she has a plethora of inappropriate pictures which contradicts the values or who she portrayed herself to be on the text or calls or even on a first or second date. So, again, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And if a woman is posting certain things on her social media, it's premeditated. It's not an accident. She knows what she's doing. She's an adult. So this is one of the very first red flags that you can spot early on. Number 2, she's always the victim. What does this look like? Every story she tells you about her ex, her job, her friends, even her family, it's just never her fault. She's always the one who has been misunderstood, used, betrayed, or done wrong. This is where you're going to hear phrases like, all of my exes were narcissistic, toxic, abusive, jerks. She speaks badly about them. Her friends, her girlfriends, her family, she's always bad-mouthing other people. Why is this a red flag? Simple. It may sound like vulnerability. Oh, she's opening up. This poor girl, she's telling me about her problems, right? She's being honest. But it's actually a pattern of deflecting accountability. Relationships require ownership. If she can't take responsibility for anything in her past, she won't take it in your future either. See, what I need you to understand here is that there is no way every single person in someone's life is just against you. Or in this case, against her. What is her part to play in this? So, looking into deeper insight, victimhood becomes an identity when someone hasn't healed. And people who live in that space, they don't grow. If you blame other people, well, then there's nothing else left for you to learn from, is there? It's just someone else's fault. But in the long run, you're just going to be the bad guy in her next story. If she's bad mouthing her exes, and you date her and you're serious and you break up, you'll be next. And the funny thing is, even intelligent women know, if even as a man you're always talking crap about your exes, they know that they're going to be next and they'll cut you off. So the actionable tip I'll have for you with this one is, when she's telling a story about an ex or a family member, you're talking to her on the phone or you're on a first date, you're getting to know, asking her questions about herself. When she's telling you one of these stories, ask her this: what do you think you learned from that? Or what did you learn from your experience with your ex? If she dodges, blames, or can't find any lesson of any wisdom that she could take or extract from her past experiences, it showcases a lack of reflection and self-awareness. Because if she can sit there and talk to you about how bad it is that, I don't know, drama happened with her mum, or problems happened with all of her girlfriends, or her exes are abusive and toxic and narcissistic, and she can't tell you anything. For example, she could have said, look, I've raised my standards when choosing men. I take more time to vet a man. I've learned not to trust a man right away. She could have said anything. But if she just dodges, blames, or just she can't even find any lesson of wisdom, that tells you she hasn't even thought about this and how can she grow from this? Because she's not in that right state of mind. And that is not a woman that's wife material. You want a woman that's accountable for her life. A woman that can grow and be by your side. Not a woman who's emotionally handicapped by a victimhood. So this is a very early warning of signs of a woman that's just not right for you. Okay? And some guys, especially when she's really pretty, I've seen it with guys working for them, working with men over the last few years. I've seen lots of cases like this. Yeah, but she's just so pretty, and they're just distracted by her beauty. They're enamored. They're intoxicated by her sex appeal. And they want to fix her. They want to save her. They want to be the knight in shining armor. And they're not looking at the bigger picture. There is simply no way that everyone is going to be against this one person. You have to dig deeper. If there's no evidence to back up her claims, and it's just victimhood, you got to walk away. Okay? And last but not least, the third red flag is a lack of effort. This one is going to show up very early as well. What does this look like? Simple. If you get her number in real life, or you match on a dating app, and you notice after texting maybe once or twice for a few days, or even if you come back after a first date, if you notice she takes a full day or longer to text you back, it's a problem. Another thing would be if she doesn't ask you in-depth questions about you, either on a date or on a phone call, on text, nothing. And if she cancels on you and she doesn't offer a counter offer, there's no rescheduling, then she's just treating you like an option. This is lack of effort. There is no woman on earth who's has more time or less time on her hands than, Elon Musk or Trump. You see these guys tweeting on Twitter every day. Even they've got time to get back to everyone. Okay? She's not the president of the US. She has time to respond to you. I've been with my girl for a couple of years, and since day one, it's been consistent interest. I've never had this problem. When you date a woman who is genuine, this is why it matters. Because consistency is the foundation of trust. If a woman claims to be someone, then who she says she is at the beginning will align. If she's already showing a lack of interest in you, but hasn't cut you off yet, then she's keeping the door open. And this is a solid sign that she's either emotionally unavailable, stuff has happened in her life, or she's settled for you, doesn't find you attractive, you're not really, maybe you don't have the same values, but she's just kind of there. Let me just see where it goes with him. But because she doesn't have that strong interest in you, she doesn't really have any reason to be consistent with you. So to give you some deeper insight, this is really all it means. This isn't mystery or her playing hard to get. It's simply a lack of interest. Cut all this red pill, retarded dating advice you hear online. It's interest, you're interested or you're not. That's it. And if you notice a woman she's texting you and she just disappears in that first week, you don't hear from her for a couple of days, then she texts you back, oh, sorry, I was just so busy. The only times women pull back because they're emotionally unavailable is because there's another guy in the picture, such as an ex or another man she's attracted to, who she's talking to. In other words, you're not really her first draft pick, so she doesn't really feel as bad to not text you back. This is why I always talk about genuine desire. If you choose a woman that really wants you, she's emotionally available, there's no ex in the background, she's all in, she's consistent, she makes an effort with you. As I just mentioned before with my woman, it's always been like that. Because we're into each other and we both have, a clean past, both have healed from our pasts, so we could invest fully into each other. Okay? And in fact, just recently, one of my clients, we were on a group call with my clients in my relationship community just the other day. And he had approached a girl on the bus, got her number, really liked her. And she texted him after 5 days. Sorry, I've been so busy. And I remember those first few days, he was asking me, Christian, she hasn't texted me back. What do you think the reason is? And I said, look, there's another guy in the background or an ex. Because a woman who's interested doesn't behave like this. And lo and behold, after 5 days, she texts him, hey, I'm so sorry, I've just been so busy. I had to sort some things out with my ex. I just broke up with him a week ago. And he was all confused. Well, why did she even, give me her number then? Well, obviously she was single now. She wanted to try and move on and heal and find someone else, but she hasn't fully healed yet. And some of you guys are going to have situations like this where you'll approach a woman, you'll match with her on a dating app, and she may seem normal, and then they just go cold on you. And it's because an ex is in the background, or they're just fresh out of a breakup, and they just haven't been honest with you yet about that. But it comes out in the actions. So this is one of these things that can happen. If there's low effort, it could very well be an ex in the background. Okay? Talking to other guys she desires more, or she just isn't that into you, and she's just distancing herself slowly without hurting your feelings. Okay? Maybe you've said or done things on when you've been texting or calling, and she just deems you incompatible or uninteresting, boring, and she just doesn't like you. Okay? There's different reasons, but just understand, if there's a lack of effort, it's usually because of this, right? So what actionable tip will I give you for this? Simple. If you spot patterns of low interest, the only solution is to walk away. You don't double or triple text or ask what's wrong. Send her a text explaining your reason why, and then cut her off. You just have to walk away from this. So my final words, now that you know these 3 common, basic red flags that you may spot early on, what I recommend you do is this. So understand, these red flags are not about judging her, they're about protecting you. If a woman's social presence, mindset, or energy tells you she's not ready, believe her. You're not crazy, you're not insecure, you're just paying attention to the patterns. The first week of talking isn't too early to walk away. It's actually the best time, before your heart is involved, before you've started compromising. So if you spot these signs, it's time to walk away, and here is how I would do so. Send her a text message or a voice message. Pull out your phone, send a little voice note. highlighting the reason why you do not want to continue getting to know her. Wish her well and move on. This is the right thing to do. Why? Because at the end of the day, she's a person too. She may not be right for you, but if you're going to walk away, you might as well be honest, so that if she ever looks back one day to the past, then perhaps your final conversation can help her grow, learn, and become a better woman. And also, by communicating directly to a woman, instead of just running away, blocking her, deleting her number, you actually strengthen your standards. And you're going to feel much better about yourself by actually walking away like this, because it's the honorable thing to do. Some of these girls might react badly, block you, delete you, call you horrible names. That's on them. But you've handled things with honor. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So gentlemen, that's it. That's really all I have to say. This has been a very simple video. And these are 3 red flags to spot in the first week of dating. And you just have to walk away with integrity. You know, don't ghost her, don't block her, just be honest. You know, give her closure and walk away. But if a girl you've just started talking to displays any of these 3 red flags, you know what to do. Let me know your thoughts down below if you've had any situations like this, or if there's anything else you would add. I'm curious to know your thoughts. And with that said, hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one.